Got it.
Me too. Although it's saying going live in like 4 minutes, but does your stream say it's going live in 4 minutes?
No, it just said going live.
Have you got a
Meeting's
video?
now being streamed.
Do you have a video of the live stream up? There we go.
There we go.
There we go. It obviously is set to a 5-minute delay.
Yeah. I'm looking aimlessly up in the air.
Yep. And we're back on crisps again. Oh, my eye hurts. Right.
Why can I not comment? Oh, there I can. The chat comes in later. I've realised that.
Yeah, it's delayed. It's only like 30 seconds behind. Oh, I put an umlaut over my eye.
How did you do that?
I don't know. All right. Where's the record button gone? Everything's moved on Zoom. Right. You ready?
As ready as I'll ever be.
Yes, I remembered.
Well done.
Right. Aye.
Aren't we looking different?
Max Verstappen has taken the checkered flag to win. That was absolutely brilliant. No, Sergio Perez is giving it everything. Oh no, Mike, that was so not right.
It didn't work.
Goes Leclerc, through goes Hamilton. Unbelievable stuff. And into each other goes Valtteri Bottas and Sergio Perez.
Bottas took out both
And at the back, that's George Russell out of this race. Daniel Ricciardo makes contact there with Kevin Magnussen, and there's a second contact.
New beer mat. But it's not the one I wanted to hold up.
No. Awkward. Well, I'm a bit jittery today.
You're a bit jittery. Why is that?
I don't know. Look, I'm all over.
Oh, I see. Yeah, your video is
and
jittery.
weirdly, the live feed's gone off mine, so I reckon my internet's playing up.
I think it is because the live stream seems fine on mine.
Yeah.
Just your
All jittery. So who knows what's going to happen? I'm going to come off my phone Wi-Fi. See if
that'd
that
be
helps.
a good idea. Hello, everyone. We're just working out our technical issues now.
New toys.
Those of you on the YouTube will see that we've got a slightly different background to us now because Zoom ran an update yesterday. So I thought I'd try this whole immersive view thing. So yeah, why not? Why not?
Is this actually on YouTube's own update? Not YouTube's.
This is Zoom. Yeah, this is Zoom's update thing because this is something I've been playing with on OBS to try and get us to look a little bit more professional than we actually are. But never really got round to doing it. So this will do for now. I might try and do themed backgrounds because this is on the picture you'll see there. It's just a stock picture of the British Grand Prix behind us. That's going
a stock picture, not one that someone knows.
It may well be. It may well be one someone owns. I'm not even sure.
That's a really rubbish picture, unless you're being sponsored by F1 Store.
I mean, yeah, there is that. Yeah, it's of the BRDC grandstand going into Luffield, going out through Brooklands.
And this is what, 5 years old?
Yeah, something like that.
So that's Bottas.
That's Bottas, yeah. That's Bottas. It looks like, well, it's the... I'm not even sure, to be honest. I would say that's Leclerc.
I can't work out behind me. I'm trying to work it out.
I think that looks like it's 21 or 20. But maybe 2020.
When was Bottas ever ahead of Max and who would have that been? Seb?
Yeah, that's Leclerc directly behind.
No, who's
behind that? It's Seb because it's white. It's a white helmet. So I reckon that's 2020. It's either 2020 or 2019.
There we go.
I'm going to go with 2020. Oh, it can't be 2020 because there's fans. It must be 2019 then.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Okay. There we go. 2019. Fantastic. So, should we talk about some Formula One, or should we go with the breaking news first?
Breaking news.
No, we can go with breaking news.
Why not? Why not? My nephew has signed for Haas. And Oliver Bearman looks a lot like my nephew.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
That was pretty quick that you sent me that. I sent you an image. You sent me one immediately back.
It's because I made the image about 2 hours earlier.
Oh, really?
Yeah. when they announced it.
Okay, so I'm just really hard behind the breaking news. And you're doing
a little bit, yeah. But if you send me something that was put on Grid Talk about an hour and a half earlier, then you can guess I've probably seen it.
Okay. I didn't see it on Grid Talk. The wife sent me.
Okay. Yeah, no, it's I did that picture while I was waiting in the queue to get some stuff for work. So I just had to. I had 5 minutes to kill.
Do that on your phone?
Yeah,
that's pretty. Looks pretty good.
The one it's not Photoshop, obviously. It's just the wonders of various apps and things. Pretty good. So yeah, Oliver Behrman to Haas, worst kept secret in Formula One. It's it all comes off the back of his amazing practice sessions that he's done for Haas from Mexico last year, and then stepping in Saudi Arabia for Sainz. So yeah,
I mean, it makes sense. I do feel sorry for anyone that's above him in the F3 at the moment, F2, sorry, at the moment.
But he was a multiple race winner. He was a rookie in F2 last year, and he won 4 races last year, more than anyone else, and was in the championship fight. And it was only vastly more experienced.
7th at the moment?
13th, I think.
13th, okay.
But it's the difference is this year it's a brand new F2 car, and Prema just haven't got to grips with it. So there is a lot of field spread. Yeah, because if you look, Antonelli is in the same boat. They're both doing really badly. And if you compare Antonelli to Behrman, they're actually fairly similar on pace. So I think that shows just how good Antonelli is as well. Because Behrman, a known quantity, won lots of races last year, was definitely a talent, was the favourite to win this year. But it's just the spread across the field is huge because there's, I think most of the teams in F2 have had a podium this year, whereas normally it's, you have your ART, maybe Dams and Prema will be the top 3. You might get like a few other teams popping in there sometimes the odd season, but generally the top teams are the top teams. But that's not been the case this year at all. I've got crisps again. Sorry, I'm not as hungry as I was.
It's lunch. It's a lunchtime spectacular. So, do you think it's the right decision putting Oliver Behrman? Who do you think that's the right decision for Oliver? And do you think it's the right decision for?
It's the right decision for Ferrari because they need to put him somewhere. There's no room at the inn at Ferrari at the moment, and there won't be for a couple of years. So it's the perfect choice to stick him with Haas, give him a discount on the engines, give him a nice handsome wage. He deserves to be in F1, definitely. I think it's a good choice for Haas. It just depends on who they're going to get in alongside him. I hope for their sake it's not Ocon because I'm not sure that would be conducive to a good pairing.
Where's Magnussen going then, or is he?
Their choices at the moment, I would say, are between Ocon, Bottas, and Magnussen. So all 3 of those,
and in theory, Sainz, but not really.
In theory, but not. Yeah, that's not going to happen. So he's not considering Haas as an option at the moment. But who knows? He might change his mind again. He's changed his mind so many times.
Yeah.
So that's I'm pretty sure that contract was signed a long time ago, but they just wanted to announce it at the British Grand Prix. It's good. It means there's for us, it's 4 British guys on the grid next year. That's great. But
is he British?
Yeah. That'll be dropping to 3 when Hamilton finally decides to leave. But I think that'll leave 3 good young British drivers in Formula One. Again, from our perspective, sorry if you're not British, but we are. So, I am. You're kind of.
I still am. Officially.
Yeah, technically. I mean, I could have Irish citizenship.
You have more. Right. The irony being is you have more chance of getting an Irish passport than I do. Because I've only got you've got grandfather rules. I've got great grandfather rules.
Mm-hmm. But you do have a wife that is Irish.
Yeah, you'd think that was easier, and you think living in Ireland would be easier. It's actually quite hard.
Is it really?
Anyway,
okay.
There you go.
Yes, because I was looking at Irish citizenship when Brexit happened, but
along with everyone else.
Yeah,
which has then caused an influx of everyone suddenly deciding they're now Irish.
Yeah, I decided not to in the end. So,
but anyway, I didn't realize I thought it was Australian or New Zealander or something.
No, we've got enough of those.
Yeah. We haven't got any New Zealanders, have we?
Lawson.
Oh, yeah.
So on the brink.
If he comes in.
Yeah, which is possible. Red Bull are deciding over the summer break if it's going to be Ricciardo or Lawson, apparently, from what I've heard.
And now, what's the rumours about Sargent leaving?
I mean, Sargent's going. That's definite. I mean, Williams have basically said
leaving at the summer break.
I don't.
Who are they going to put in?
I mean, the only thing they could do is put in Antonelli. Realistically, I think
his super license officially.
So
I think he has to.
He has the points, but he has to be 18. Okay. So that's why they changed that provision in the rules recently. They said you no longer have to be 18. It can be you can have your super license before then. So it used to be you have to. He's 17, but he turns 18 the weekend of the Dutch Grand Prix, so just after the summer break.
Wow.
So if they wanted to put him in for Zandvoort, they would have to wait or get this exemption. But I believe the way
being 17 and being in an F1 car, that's insane.
Okay, watch Formula One in 2015 then, because that was Max Verstappen's age when he was in Formula One. He signed for Toro Rosso age 16. He made his debut age 17.
I mean, I wonder if he even had a driving license.
Well, no, he wouldn't have done. Well, he wouldn't have done when he signed the contract.
Yeah. That's mad.
Yeah, it's insane.
Like, and the pressure to have that, and the money you suddenly get as well.
Yeah.
Insane.
Yeah, so should we talk about the Austrian Grand Prix?
Was that the last one?
What the fuck?
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest, is there much else to talk about apart from that? I just don't want to just go straight into that unless we did there. Is there anything else to talk about?
I mean, Russell won. Okay, done. Moving on.
Yeah. What else was there? Was it quite a boring race apart from that then?
I mean, there were some interesting bits in there. Perez had some side pod damage from a collision with Piastri on lap one, which was reason why he was. Well,
and someone hit Sargent as well, or something happened with Sargent.
Something happened with Sargent. We never really saw it.
No one knows what happened.
But Perez was fighting with the Hasses, which was funny.
Yeah, I mean,
getting overtaken by Hulkenberg on the last lap. He was ahead of.
Very well.
Yeah, he was. Hulkenberg was holding off Perez. Perez passed him on the penultimate lap, and then Hulkenberg got him back again on the final lap.
Yeah,
which is just box office. Yeah, the Alpines behaved themselves. Didn't crash into each other.
Shockingly. There wasn't really much. I mean, was there anything weird in the pits? It was. There
was on the build up to what happened. Should we just talk about the front two? And we
had a sprint race as well.
We did have the sprint, but that was very much a precursor. It was qualifying wise, it was the same top three. As
I was so confused because I didn't see the qualifying from the main race,
right?
And then I saw and I was googling it because we saw the first thing because I was at a wedding this weekend, and we saw the first, and then I was trying to work out. I was like. And then I was Googling it and trying to find out the results. And it kept coming up with qualifying. I was like, but that's the sprint qualifying results. I'm so confused.
Well, the top three qualifiers were the same, but then Piastri got his lap deleted. So,
but I literally landed on it just as the qualifying was finished. So at that point, it hadn't been deleted.
I got deleted pretty much straight away. You must have been literally as the Q3 laps happened because it was deleted within a minute of Q3 finishing.
Yeah. Yeah,
so
I don't know what happened, but on Sky Sports.
Yeah, maybe they just didn't do it. But yeah, so we had Hamilton passing Sainz, and then having to give the place back, and then he was fighting with Russell, and then got a little bit of floor damage going over a curb. He gave the position back to Sainz anyway. I think he got the floor damage after that. So he was fighting Russell. He was ahead of him at one point. Then he gave the position back to Sainz because he had to. But then with the floor damage, he couldn't really compete after that. And then Sainz went on his merry way. Russell just stayed in the game, stayed in the fight, had his own little race in there in third place, and just let.
He didn't have a fight. He just had a boring drive.
Yeah. He just And then Piastri was on a fight back. He showed good pace. Came through past Hamilton, past Sainz in the final stages, and then was chasing Russell for the win. I think if there'd have been a bit more debris on track and it had been a safety car or VSC, that could well have been Piastri's race. Piastri hadn't have had his lap time deleted, it could well have been his race.
Do you agree with his lap time being deleted? I don't know why.
It was fine. I mean,
anyway, it was quite obvious.
I mean, he was. it was a bit ambiguous, but we all kind of agreed that the rules would be the rules. The white line is the white line, and if it look very much like in tennis, if everyone accepts that the censors are gospel, and if they're wrong, they're just wrong. You know, it doesn't matter. Everyone accepts that they are correct.
Oh, look at you getting a Wimbledon sort of thing in there.
Well, yeah, it's like people accept that Hawkeye isn't 100%, but it's 99.9, and if it's wrong, it's wrong. You don't argue it. Yeah. McLaren tried, and then it was shut down because there is no provision to appeal against it in the rules. So it was worth a try, but it was just a bit of a waste of time, really. It's fine. He did dip a wheel in the gravel, but it didn't lose him any time. But he was outside track limits. I think he was just slightly out of track limits. So that is the rules, and that's the result. It's unfortunate. I wanted, obviously, for McLaren's perspective, it would have been good having Piastri out there. Yeah. But Piastri is a very good starter, and Norris didn't get off to a great one. So potentially we could have seen Piastri taking the fight to Verstappen, and I don't think, given the race pace, it would have been as strong. So I think we probably would have seen a very different race had Piastri's lap not been deleted, and I think we would have seen a Verstappen win. Would be my opinion if we hadn't have seen that lap time deletion. But there we go. It's all ifs and buts and maybes.
Yeah.
Anything else from the rest of the field? Ninth place from Ricciardo, benefited from a couple of retirements. It has double points finish. We've already spoken about. Kevin Magnussen,
I think they would have got double points finish anyway, wouldn't they?
Magnussen would have been in P10. So
okay.
So it would have been
double points.
Yeah, double points finish. Yeah. Aston just very absent. Alonso boxing right at the end.
Alonso. What was going on with Alonso?
He pitted for the fastest lap.
Yeah.
Just to take it away from someone.
Doorbell. Someone else in.
Yeah, the wife. It's fine. I'm sure she can get that. I'm just eating a crisp. So if we get onto the race then, so Max was running away with it at the front.
Yeah.
Not really running away with it, but a safe distance, pacing himself. Norris doing very much the same thing. Just kind of trying to stay in the race, knowing that his final set of tyres was going to be better than Verstappen's, and just hoping that it would be enough to chase him. But he was really handed a lifeline when Verstappen had, firstly, it was a slightly slow stop, then coupled with the fact
5
that
5 seconds instead of 2.5 or whatever.
Yeah, it was over 6 seconds in the end, but they were slightly slow on the tyre. And then because they were slow on the tyre, they lost a second or two there. But then Norris was in the window where they couldn't release Verstappen into his path for an unsafe release. So then that meant that Norris was only a couple of seconds behind Verstappen coming out of the box. And then Verstappen went wide, got a flat spot on his tyre because he was under pressure.
Yeah.
So then he ended up going wide, having a flat spot. Then he's already got older tyres anyway. He's lost ultimate performance out of those tyres. And it meant that Norris was within a second, like straight away, instead of chasing and trying to get in DRS. He was in DRS straight away. So that then set us up for what happened then.
So it was a big battle. It was a longish battle. It wasn't like it was a cat and mouse for a little while. Max cannot cope under pressure. I just don't think he's used to it. Like everyone's like, oh yeah, but that's how Max races. What, he can't cope under pressure unless he's at the front, he's fucked.
I think he can. He's shown in the past that he can race under pressure. He races under huge pressure and does well. What he can't do very well is when things are getting away from him, he gets desperate. Mm-hmm. So he had the race under control. It was his to lose. And then a slow pit stop and one mistake from him, all of a sudden he's under pressure. And he knows that if Norris gets by with the better tyres, that's probably it. And he's losing the race. So, and the race is going away from him when it was his to win.
By being a dick.
Yeah. So, I mean, to be honest, it isn't.
I don't understand.
It isn't even.
It's opposed to getting second. He's just taking them both out.
It isn't even just a collision for me. Like, I think it's pretty obvious where we all stand on this with our opinions. But
I don't know if anyone. Has anyone been on Max's side?
Horner, probably Yoss, probably Marco.
Shocking Horner, weirdly. Yes, of course. But no one else is in Max's side, surely.
No, I don't know if he's going to. I mean, we're going to have the press conferences today.
He was all over the track in the break points.
Yeah. So I think there was a few things for me. There was obviously, okay, that's not get away from the fact that Lando Norris just before the collision did get a 5-second penalty for track limits from where he had left the track 3 times and then going off track the 4th time,
so
which was a genuine.
Max so desperate.
Yeah, the thing is that overtake for me. I'm a little bit disappointed with that as a penalty. Again, it's fine. It's the rules. As the rules are written, I'm fine with that. I think there could be provision for it to be changed in future, but as it is right now, they are the rules. Yeah. I think there's a difference between abusing track limits to gain advantage and then attempting an overtake, going off track, and then giving the position back. He's already suffered the loss of having to give the position back. So why does he then need a 5-second penalty as well, or for that to class as a track limit violation? So that, I think there is some room for improvement on that. But again, as it is to the rules now, that is a 5-second penalty. Fair enough. He may as well have just kept the position if that was the case, if he knew he was going to get a 5-second penalty. But so there was that. However, there was Max moving under braking. There was Max going off track and not giving the position back, basically doing what Hamilton did to Sainz, but then Hamilton gave the position back to Sainz because they knew that a penalty would be incoming. That wasn't investigated. I don't know if it would have been investigated had they been racing for longer. It may well have done. If that's the case, then Max has a 5-second penalty, Lando has a 5-second penalty, race on. Fantastic. Yeah. But there was then the collision, which was like, it's so egregious for me. Like, there's only one thing in his mind. He's not even attempting to make the corner. It's very much, I mean, it's a slightly different scenario, but it's very Rosberg Hamilton, that famous moment where you and I just debated for about 20 minutes about who was at fault.
I know, but I agree with you this time. And I don't think it's so obvious whose fault that is. And it's not even me being a slight Lando fan. If that was the other way around, I'd be like, Lando's a dick. There's no answer to that, really. I don't know how Max suddenly went all Albanish and got his tyre stuck in there. Yeah,
but the thing is, there was 2 contacts, wasn't there? There was the first contact.
Was there? I knew there was one with the tyre.
Yeah.
The one with the tyres.
There's the ones where they banged wheels, and then he pushed him off onto the curb, and then there was a second contact where he was just trying to go as far down to the edge of the curb as possible. Mm-hmm. And then even after that, Max had an instant delamination of his tyre, whereas Norris's was a bit more of a slow puncher, took a couple of corners to really come in. So then Norris tries to drive past him on the straight, and he puts him on the grass.
Yeah.
It's just unbelievable. And like, again, you've got to punish the instant, not the result. So a 10-second penalty was probably just about right. But you've then got, he's put Norris out of the race effectively. I think if Norris had gone back to the pits slightly slower, then he probably wouldn't have caused as much damage to the car.
I suppose in Max's mind, he's done the right thing. He fucked over his championship competitor and still managed to get some points.
Well, yeah, because he's actually pulled away in the championship.
Yeah. So, unfortunately, it probably was the right thing to do for Max.
For his championship, yeah, but for Formula One, it's a bad look, I think.
It might be a bad look, but this isn't about Formula One. It's about him in that way. He's the one that earns more millions from the more points he gets.
I know Alex Wirtz said that they are going to talk about. So Alex Wirtz is head of the GDPA, Grand Prix Drivers Association, and they're going to talk about it this weekend at the British Grand Prix ahead of the British Grand Prix to then decide what they're going to put in the not in the rules, but in the rules of engagement type thing.
But the rules of engagement are fine. He got the penalty. There's nothing else. What else can they really do?
Well, I think what they can do
is that literally the line they need to put in.
What they can do is there was other stuff that wasn't punished before that, which had it been punished would have probably led to that incident not happening. So I think they just need to tighten it up.
Weaving on the track.
Yeah,
but it still would have happened even if he got told off
But if they'd have then given him a black and white flag for that, or a 5-second penalty, potentially he doesn't then move across onto him. Potentially, we don't know.
I still think he does.
He probably does because he's Max Verstappen. He's an entitled cunt. But
that's the thing. The 5-second penalty, he needs to get 5 seconds ahead. At that point, he still has 5 seconds on George at that point. So the worst he's ever going to get is second, even with a 5-second penalty. So that's worth the fight. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and I suppose if he's ahead of Lando, and if he's ahead of Lando, he's got a 10-second penalty, and Lando's got a 5-second penalty. Lando's net 5 seconds in the lead. He probably tries to take him off.
I wonder if the penalties are wrong, and it shouldn't be 5-second penalty or 10-second penalty. It should be one place down.
Yeah, I heard. I can't remember where I heard this. I think I heard it somewhere as a suggestion.
I haven't heard it anywhere.
That's very good from you. I heard this as a suggestion on another podcast that I listened to. I think yesterday. I can't remember who it was. So apologies for that. Can't cite the source, but somebody suggested it should be a one place drop instead of
there's a one place. Yeah, and then that way
that would make more sense.
I don't know how you quite police that as to whether, because in theory, with a 5-player, I suppose it makes sense, because you can't get out of it. You're not going to get, even if you win the race, you're still going to get second.
You can't calculate making, taking a penalty and then trying to get it back.
Yeah.
And when you saw situations like, it would be much more fair, because when you have a situation like in the Australian Grand Prix, where Sainz got a 5-second penalty for the collision that caused on the restart, on the second restart, and then as a result, instead of finishing on the podium, he ends up out of the points because he's 5 seconds massively amplified because we're finishing behind the safety car.
Yeah.
So I think that's actually a really good shout to whoever suggested that. I think it may have been on the ESPN podcast. Actually, I think it may have been Lawrence Edmondson.
I generally haven't listened to the ESPN podcast, and that was just my own basic thought.
I think it was them.
I thought that might have come back with 50 reasons as to why not.
Yeah, no, that is. I'm actually. The more I think about that, the more I think that would be a better way of doing it.
Yeah.
It does mean that. Would you then have a scenario if you have a one-place penalty? Well, no, you then because they still wouldn't. They still wouldn't gain that.
They'd always have a one-place penalty.
Yeah, no, I was just thinking whether they would. It would then take the sting out of it a little bit if you then got someone trying to fight for the win, they're then guaranteed not to win the race, no matter what happens. But then I suppose they would then try.
If they've got a 10-second penalty, they're still the same story.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
If they're competing and they win the race, they're still dropping down no matter what. It just means that they're not up against the clock. They are fighting for position and safety of position. 5 seconds is one grid place. 2 grid places is for a 10-second.
I think it's all fine as long as it happens in the race. What I don't want to see is
the problem is that you can only do that post race. The results can only be done post race.
No, but what you can do is you can say Lando Norris, you've committed an on-track indiscretion. You have a one-place.
Oh yeah.
A one-place penalty.
Yeah.
For wherever you finish. So if he finishes in first, he comes second. If he comes 18th, it's 19th. So I think.
And the only person that survives that is person in 20th. But even if they had a 10-second grid penalty, it literally makes no difference.
They're in 20th. Who cares?
Yeah.
It's not going to make any difference.
Sargent's never going to have a problem.
Exactly. Yeah, he'll be fine. He'll just be smashing people on the track left, right, and centre.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. I. There's always unintended consequences to every solution that gets suggested, but at the moment,
can't find many.
I can't think of anything that would be any worse than what we currently have.
Yeah.
And the upside is much bigger. So I am fully on board with your suggestion, Carl. So first time ever. You're
I generally like it was more of a thought process, but I don't know. There must be reasons as to why they've not done that. Is it just too black and white and it almost takes out some I guess
in motorsport it's always been time penalties. It has always been thus.
Yeah.
I've never heard of anything like a single place penalty before. This is why you're on this podcast, Carl. You're the idiot in a room. You're in the room
that's trying to explain there must be some reasons to why that hasn't been done.
I cannot think of anything at the moment. So I think we'll put that to the the grid talk community and see what they come up with. See if they agree or disagree. And we'll probably talk about it on Grid Talk at the weekend at some point. I think I'm on the race show. Can't remember at the moment.
Cool.
But yeah,
great. Yeah, I can't see a reason as to why. But anyway, had that happened, with having my idea, would that stop Max?
I mean, he would have bitched and moaned about it.
But okay, here's I've just thought the crux of the issue. So no, it's not. Like, there's no crux of the issue there, because like Norris would have had a 1 place grid penalty instead of 5 seconds. Then if not, so he would have ended up in second, whatever happened. If he won the race, he would have ended up in third had he been fine, which would have been the same as the 5 second grid penalty, wouldn't it? Had he served it?
I think
Norris would have ended up in third.
I don't think you could do everything on 1 place grid drops.
Okay.
I think you could do it for collisions, but for track limits, I think the penalty system is fine.
Okay.
I think if you're causing collisions, there may be the 1 place, because otherwise you end up in a situation you've got 2 people duking it out at the front, and then as a result they come 4th and 5th because they've got place penalties, even though they're like a minute ahead.
Yeah.
So I guess that would be an unintended consequence. Okay. As well, it would have to be done on when whoever got the penalty first. Can you imagine a situation Norris gets a 1 place finishing penalty, but then Verstappen gets one as well? So it's like, well, who gets? So then Norris would then be knocked down to third, but then Verstappen would be knocked down to second, but then would then Russell in third have been put ahead of both of them?
Yeah.
So
there we go. There's the maths problem.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does cause. So if he was to get the penalty there, that's hurting my head now. Like, if Verstappen were to get it first and then move behind Norris, then Norris would get it and it would be back to status quo.
Yes.
I guess it would have to be tallied at the end.
Yeah, that's what I said. You'd have to tally it at the end.
Yeah, but if that was done at the end, then if first and second have both got a 1 place drop, do they just switch positions and switch back again? Or does Russell still get the win? I guess they would still.
1 goes down to 2, 2 goes down to 3, which means.
When would you apply that? Oh no, I'm not sure this would work, because then it goes into the whole grid penalty thing, like with the massive complication as to when you apply that. I think it works in a situation where you've got 1 penalty, but when you've got 5 or 6 people with penalties for things, it gets very complicated, and it has to be like when you.
It's the grid position issue.
Yeah,
they managed to deal with the grid position issue. So
they do, but no fucker understands it. Like, no one. I don't understand.
We just have the same thing with this.
But then it's there for a race result. Oh, that's ruined it for me. That has ruined it for me. Yeah, that's the unintended consequence.
I've just ruined my great idea.
Yeah, no, it's great in theory, but yeah, in practice it doesn't really work.
What happens when 2 people have penalties before? Yeah, because 1 becomes 2, 2 becomes 3, so just 3 become 1. No,
all right, Spice Girls.
3 has to become 2, but then he drops down. Well, one presumes it's done in timed as well. So
on lap 56, so and so gets a 1 place drop. On 57, so and so gets a 1 place drop.
Yeah,
but even so, it does get very complicated, and it ends up being death by spreadsheet to figure out who's won the race.
You would love it.
No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't. I want to see the checkered flag flying, and you know who the winner is.
No, you love a spreadsheet.
And then it becomes then it almost becomes like aggregate times and stuff. And no, I'm now against it. I'm now against it.
Oh, we thought we fixed Formula One.
No, we need to find another solution. I don't like the time penalty solution, but I don't like the 1 place solution either. I think it just needs to go back to something as simple as you are at fault for that. You need to get the position back. If the other driver's retired, then it's a penalty of some description, whether it be a drive-through penalty or whatever. I think it needs to be done on track, though. I don't think it should be a case of adding time to the end of the race unless it has to be done. I don't know how they would do that. I guess drive-through penalty or some kind of performance deficit. If they could have like a nerf mode where they can just make them lose,
Shoot guns out of it.
No, I was thinking like they lose 20% of their power for 30 seconds or something. Whether you could like switch off their ERS system for 20 seconds so they lose loads of time that way or something. That's the only thing I could think of.
There we go. We haven't fixed it.
No,
we'll come back.
Sorry.
We'll come back with the fixation. So I think that's, I mean, there is like Lando's rightfully pissed, and Norris hasn't, Verstappen hasn't said anything, hasn't apologized.
Not yet. I mean, we haven't gone into the weekend yet, so he may well do something in the press conference today.
Okay.
Because we're recording this on Thursday, so he may well do
together,
something.
I wonder.
I imagine so. I can't imagine that they would not. It'd be a massive own goal if they decided not to do that.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't they?
Because it's possibly more issues than it's worth.
Nah, it's fun.
You're such a gossip.
Yeah, why not?
I'll start calling you Lady Whistledown, and you will not get that quote. No one in this podcast will. There we go. Yeah, we tried to fix Formula One, but there we go. I don't think. Thanks, Tom. That's great. That's now on everything. Trying to be more professional and more mature. You call me a knobhead.
So yeah, I just renamed Carl on the Zoom meeting to knobhead.
Thanks.
It's all right. It's fine. I'll change it back.
Thanks.
You were talking and I was getting bored. So
all right, brilliant. There we go.
There you go. You're back.
Weirdly, you haven't got a name.
I know. I'm not sure why. Maybe I've got it set to not display. I think I've got it set to not display my name.
Well, I thought I had it to not display until it turned up as a knobhead. Anyway, the only knobhead in this place in Formula One is Max Verstappen. I think we can all call him Dick of the Day.
Okay, let's do it.
Who's our Dick of the Day?
Max. Cool, done. Driver of the day?
No, the other knob would have been, had it not been Max, it would have been possibly the Red Bull wheel gun guy, because he would have lost.
I think it would have only lost a second or so. It's just because Norris pitted the same lap that they didn't have to wait for him. So that's fine. It just happens.
Else?
Perez for wasting a seat again.
Yeah, Perez for wasting a seat. Sargent for crashing into whoever he crashed into.
Alonso, like punting Zhou off the track and just generally being shit.
Yeah, so there's quite a few dicks, but unfortunately Max became the biggest one.
Yeah, no, I'd agree with that. Driver of the day?
Oscar Piastri.
He was the Grid Talk driver of the day.
Oscar Piastri, because he came from 7th up to 4th.
He did have a good recovery.
Or 3rd, or 2nd.
Second, yeah.
7th to 2nd. He would have come up to 4th had Dumb and Dumber not had a crash.
Hulkenberg is a good shout as well.
Hulkenberg grand, but didn't do as well.
He still finished 6th in a Haas, though. That's pretty
why
good.
the fuck was Lando driver of the day? Like, sorry, I don't think he deserves driver of the day because he got track limits, which automatically means he's fucked up. So that's not
according to my rules. That means I could not have voted for him for driver of the day.
Yeah,
because my rules, if someone gets a penalty of their own, out on their own merit, then they don't deserve driver of the day because they haven't been able to keep on track.
Driver of the day just because he didn't win.
I mean, he did drive a stellar race. He was unlucky, and then he was. I'm going to say he was robbed of what I think still would have been a win, even with that 5-second penalty, because I think Max would have got a 5-second penalty for not giving a position back. So, I think he would have won the race without the collision. So, I think he has been robbed there again of a race win. But I can't see anyone beyond Piastri, to be honest.
No,
it's Piastri.
I think it's Piastri was the driver of the day.
My heart says Norris, but my head says Piastri.
You can't go with Norris. He got a penalty.
No, you can't. Yeah, you can't. You absolutely can't. No, I agree.
Oh, Wayne's come on, but he's going to go and rewatch. Hi, Wayne, when you get back to this.
Yeah, well, we're finishing soon, so.
Yeah. There we go.
Yeah.
I'm sure you have lots of things to say about our point system when you get to that point. Or you've been to that point. You've probably already been to that point.
Oh, this is just like your point system again. It's confusing me. Oh, my head. I'm too ill for this.
There we go. Oh, yeah, Tom's ill, by the way.
Yeah.
Right. Are we all good? We've got GB this week.
Yeah, British Grand Prix. No sprint, because they only give sprints to countries that pay a lot of money or politically make sense. So, yeah. No sprint, obviously. British Grand Prix, looking forward to it.
Oh, yeah, talking about places that spends lots of money. They were really scraping the bottom of the barrel with the celebrities, weren't they?
Which celebrities? I didn't see any of them.
Precisely. They had zero celebrity. The only one they had was Oppenheim, who is from Selling Sunset. And that's the only person that I saw. Oh, and Hans Zimmer, which I love Hans Zimmer. I creamed myself when.
Oh, yeah, I love that. That anthem was awesome.
Anthem. That was possibly the best anthem I have ever heard.
That was good.
And Hans Zimmer is just a legend.
Yeah.
And I've seen him live and he's awesome. But
such a groupie.
Do you even know who Hans Zimmer is?
Of course I do. You're talking to the musical theatre guy. Of course I know who Hans Zimmer is.
Yeah, but he's not musical theatre.
I know, but I love classical music.
Well, I suppose he is musical theatre because he did Lion King. But, yeah.
Yes, I know who Hans Zimmer is.
Okay, well done. I bet loads of people were like, who's this old fool? Yeah, but Hans Zimmer, legend. So that was awesome. But those were the only two celebrities they had, which meant that Martin had to do his grid walk in the pit.
Oh, so you mean he actually had to speak to people that knew what they were talking about and
talk about cars and not celebrities.
I'm so sorry for him. I'm so sorry for him. Yeah. I'm gutted I missed it.
Yeah, it was very important. Although the worst discussion was Bernie, who I love. And Ted going, oh, what does that bit of car do? And it was like a leaf blower, and you're like, I wonder what that could be doing. Or what else was it? Like, what does what's the halo or something? And you're just like, oh my God. Like, I know people are coming into the sport and but also there's more people that have been around the sport that know what a fucking halo is and what the leaf blower is doing than people that are coming into sport and need to learn those things.
Yeah.
Give me like, yeah, I've been the idiot.
I think that's the difference. Like if you're watching on Sky or watching on F1 TV, depending on if it's available in your area, I think you're with Sky, you're catering to like not trying to not be disparaging here, but the Drive to Survive generation who have recently come into the sport. It's the most popular way to watch it. F1 TV, you're paying a subscription to just watch F1. So those people are going to be much more hardcore fans. So I think the F1 TV audience doesn't cater to the masses like Sky does. So I think Sky gets a bit of a bad rap for that, but that's kind of their job. They're the de facto global feed that they go to because F1 TV wouldn't be suitable for the masses in that sense. So I understand it. So I do give them a bad rap for their coverage, but I kind of understand it. I just prefer F1 TV.
Owain just gave me an idea without meaning to. He went, can't wait for the rendition of the anthem to be on the backing track of TikToks. How do I find the music on this and ruin this podcast? Get us banned again.
Yeah, get our audio removed from YouTube.
Yeah,
because you did that on the "This is the formula" thing from
This is the formula. Yeah.
Well, fortunately, we're not going to get our audio removed because that sounded nothing like it. So. Yeah,
no, but you can sing it, but you can't sing the tune. So yeah, and right, you can say the words.
Because the other one was we had another one removed from YouTube, which was.
Oh, what did I do?
I think the episode was called Arabian Nights, and I put a 10-second clip of Disney's Arabian Nights in it. And then that obviously got cut as well.
Arabian Nights.
That's the one.
Map tune. There we go.
Yeah.
There, I just got us banned again. There we go.
Yeah.
Right. So GB next week. We'll try and be back next week. We're doing better, although it's a bit random.
No, I think it's going to have to be. I think if you're not working next week, it'll probably have to be a morning podcast because I'm busy every afternoon, evening, pretty much next week. But I'm off work, so I could probably do morning. Yeah.
We'd have coffee morning.
Yeah, love it. Okay, so keep an eye on the YouTube. We will be on like a 9 a.m. or something.
9:30. I've got to get the kids to their receptive places.
Oh, okay. 6 a.m. I'll be up.
I've still got to get the kids to their receptive places
and
okay, sleep.
Fine. Yeah.
Yeah, mate. Yeah, let's see what I can do.
Anyway, let's talk about this offline. This isn't interesting. But
boring.
Yeah. Cool. British Grand Prix. I think it'll be a good one for McLaren. I think they'll be strong. I think Ferrari will be okay. I think Red Bull will be close. Mercedes will be good. I genuinely think this might be a three-way fight between Mercedes, Red Bull, and McLaren.
Yeah.
We could see a British 1, 2, 3 on the podium.
That would be quite funny.
Yeah.
I don't think we will until Oliver Behrman's in, where we've upped our chances.
But we've currently got 3 Brits in top cars.
Yeah, 2
because Mercedes are definitely back now, and if they could go fast in Austria, they'll go fast in Silverstone. Yeah. So they're definitely back. They're still not they're not. I would say they're still behind Ferrari, but I think on this track they will be equal, if not slightly above Ferrari.
Yeah.
Just my opinion. I could be wrong. Yeah. And McLaren have shown already that they are very close to Red Bull. So I think it will be McLaren, Red Bull, Mercedes, all fighting out with Ferrari just behind is how I think it's going to pan out. But again, I could be wrong in that. Ferrari could be right there. They could be the quickest car.
We shall see.
They have had a lot of problems. But one thing we can be certain about is Sergio Perez will be 7th or lower. So
it's getting boring now.
Yeah. Although he is trending, like we were just saying before the podcast, he is trending upwards since he signed his contract.
Yeah, when he took his dive down.
His results since he signed his contract have been 8th, not classified 18th, not classified 18th, 11th. Sorry, no, 8th, 7th. So he is trending up. He's gone 18th, 8th, 7th. So at least he's getting points now. So 6th place then, Sergio Perez. Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah, I mean, if he's lucky, maybe 7th. I don't know. Is he going to get 6th?
Well, if he were to get 6th, he'd have to finish ahead of a Ferrari or or 2 Ferraris or 2 McLarens or 2 Mercedes.
Yeah,
I think he's going to be 7th.
Yeah,
unless one of them retires.
We shall see.
Yeah, cool. All right, let's call it then.
All right, bye.
See you later, everyone. Bye. Yeah, I've got nothing.
I'm getting us banned.